Alright, hey and welcome everybody. We are going to be explaining the newest duping method that was found very recently for Borderlands 2. It is something that works on all patches. It is something that works only in co-op, so you definitely need more than one player. You cannot be the host, and you cannot do it solo. So, the entire idea is to have your off-host player here drop the same gun twice. If you want to try and explain that or execute that real quick. Sometimes takes a couple tries if you're not don't have a hyper-scrolling mouse wheel, or if your latency is too close to the other player. So it is actually a benefit to have a worse connection to someone. This does make it a little bit more consistent, and you do want to have more than one button to make it easier as well.
There we go.
Here we go. Alright, so as you can see, there are two identical weapons now on the ground here. The game thinks that both of them are the same, but there is a way to make them real, quote-unquote.
And before we go into that, I do want to explain what I was doing there to drop them. I was spamming between slot 1 and slot 2 of my inventory. I can also do this with previous and next weapon, and then I was spamming the drop key, which is underscore by default. That's what I'm using currently. You can drop the bind drop to the mouse wheel to make this more consistent.
It does make things a lot easier for those of you with hyper-scrolling mouse wheels. This is going to be PC only since it does require quick dropping, and the only requirement that we know of is for you to be swapping weapons and dropping them at the same time. The more inputs you can get, the better, so you need to spam faster, or you need, like I said earlier, higher latency or something like that to trick the game into thinking that you still have the gun in your hand to be able to drop it again. If you do have a hyper-scrolling mouse wheel, it is much easier to do it, as he just demonstrated. And now, moving on, we're going to talk about how to make these real. Most of the time, we have had one instance where this wasn't the case, but if your inventory slots have empty slots on them, then the guns will go in there one time, and the game will realize that they're both the same weapon, and it will only give you one of them. Now, if you sit here and fill those up, like this, when I grab both of these, I now have two extra snipers that I didn't have before, which now has made both of those real. I can drop them back on the map, and anybody can pick any of them up, and they are completely real. Now, you may think, that's kind of annoying to do that for a lot of guns, and, you know, it's a little slow and inconsistent, especially if you don't have something like a macro or a mouse wheel that's going to work functionally about the same. Well, you're in luck, because there's a better way to do this in order to get a lot of guns very, very quickly. So, if Raikaro here will equip this gun from the map by holding E on it, and I'm going to do the same, when he presses his drop button, he can now drop as many as he wants.
You have to go through the same process to make these guns real as well.
Mm-hmm. Why the game allows for this is because it has merged both of our inventories the same, because both of these guns, in terms of the game's memory, are the exact same gun. So, when two different people pick up the same gun, the game freaks out and thinks, whoa, that's not possible, so that has to be the same inventory. So it thinks I had the gun, but it also thinks he has the gun, so he can drop the gun, but it didn't leave my inventory, so he still has it. So he can just keep dropping it. And, like I said, if I quickly go in here and fill this up, I can pick up all of these guns here. And they're all just kind of sitting here. So, all in all, those are two very useful duping methods for those of you on PC,
Come on, not
and
now!
for those of you speedrunners looking to increase your time, or decrease your time, rather. I would hope it wouldn't increase it. That would be much worse. But hope that helps explain a couple things, and thanks for watching.
Yep, thanks.